Module 3, Process of Drawing Up Sectoral Commitment Plans. Hello dear participants, welcome to our training workshop on drawing up and updating commitment plans. After studying the general information related to commitment plans in Module 1 and the tools associated with commitment plan development in Module 2, in this Module 3, we are going to take a look at drawing up of sectoral commitment plans. The aim of this module is to introduce you to the process of drawing up a sectoral commitment plan, also known as SCP. To achieve this, the module will be divided into 3 sequences as follows. Sequence 13, Procedure for drawing up the initial sectoral commitment plan. Sequence 14, Sustainability, Opinion for the Finance Controller. Sequence 14, Sustainability Opinion for the Finance Controller. Sequence 15, Drawing up a final sectoral commitment plan. Sequence 13, Procedure for drawing up the initial sectoral commitment plan. Hello dear participants, welcome to our training workshop on drawing up and updating commitment plans. In this sequence 13, we will look at the process of drawing up the initial sectoral commitment plan. Initial sectoral commitment plans are those drawn up by the individual administrations and consolidated at the Directorate General of Budget level to serve as input for the cash position plan. Initial sectoral commitment plans are those drawn up by the individual administrations and consolidated at the DGB level to serve as input for the cash position plan. The commitment plan drawing up process begins with the production of the initial sector commitment plan. As we have seen in previous sequences, the SCP is based on 2 main tools, the Annual Work Plan, that's AWP, and the Simplified Procurement Plan, that is SPP. An administration's AWP sets out a list of activities and tasks for each of its programs and for each action within that program, together with the appropriations needed to implement them. These activities and tasks are implemented according to the annual schedule. Some activities, which are carried out by means of a procurement procedure, have specific information in the Simplified Procurement Plan, notably the amounts and payment dates of the various breakdowns as well as the source of funding. It should be noted that only ordinary internal expenditure, that is RIO, is considered in the SCP. Expenditure financed by external sources is therefore excluded. Drawing up the initial SCPs involves grouping the appropriations required to implement the activities and tasks set out in the AWP by expenditure heading and scheduling the commitments, liquidations, and payment authorizations required to implement these activities and tasks by month. An activity may involve several types of expenditure. Each planned expenditure must be associated with an expenditure type, which will position it on the appropriate SCP line. The month in which the activity is scheduled to take place must allow you to decide in which month to schedule the commitment, liquidation, and authorization of expenditures linked to the activity. These dates must be set with sufficient lead time to ensure that the necessary resources are available before the activity begins. They must also take into account the budget year closing calendar, dates for approval or authorizations. As we saw in Module 1, expenditures in the SCP are grouped by major mass, and within each major mass, they are classified by order of priority. There are mandatory expenditures, priority expenditures, and other expenditures. This hierarchy is justified by the scarcity of resources and to facilitate arbitration. It is important to note that the level of priority assigned to an expenditure is set by the user administration. In fact, the explanatory note accompanying the SCP must include a table identifying all expenditures deemed to have priority. For example, a management control activity scheduled for May could require two types of expenditure: an expenditure for purchase, classified under the main heading expenditure for goods and services as a priority expenditure for goods and services. Another type of expenditure for bonuses and gratuities, which will be classified as other personnel expenditure under the heading of personnel expenditure. As the activity is scheduled for May, commitments can be made in March and liquidation and authorization in April. This operation must be prepared for each activity in each program of the administration concerned. The data from each program is then aggregated to obtain the initial SCP for the ministry or institution. The initial SCP, accompanied by an explanatory note, the annual work plan, and the SPP, will be sent to the finance controller for his opinion on its sustainability before being forwarded to the Directorate General of Budget. From this sequence, you should remember that the initial SCP is obtained after processing the annual work plan and the simplified procurement plan. It summarizes all expenditure on ordinary internal resources planned for the year, grouped by priority within each major item. Its preparation requires programming, which, depending on the expected date of implementation of activities, anticipates the appropriate dates for commitment, liquidation, and scheduling in compliance with the year-end constraints of the end of commitment and payment authorization dates.